Welcome to the Adventures in Alchemy podcast, where we share tips, techniques, and true stories to support you in using the law of attraction and alchemy to create magic and live the life of your dreams. Here's your host, the founder of dailyalchemy.com, Michelle Martin Dobbins.
Hey guys, Michelle Martin Dobbins from dailyalchemy.com. And I want to talk to you today a little bit about choosing your feelings. And I know that sometimes people feel like they can't choose their feelings, and their feelings are just their reaction to what happens in the outside world. And I am here to tell you that is the lazy way out. And I'm not saying I don't take that path, but I'm learning more and more. And when I start to react, and of course, sometimes I react in the moment or I go into these emotions, but I'm learning how I get to choose my emotions. And before I go farther, I know that some people struggle with deep, dark depression and anxiety, and I totally get that. And I'm not saying that you can shift that on a dime, especially when you've had that habit built up. And if you've heard some of my stories before, I was in that place a lot in my teens and my 20s. And there's nothing wrong with getting help, professional help. There's nothing wrong with medicating for the long term or the short term. You do what works for you. So that being said, I know it's not easy to change on a dime. And I know if you're in a deep thought pattern like that, or you've created, or there is chemical imbalance in the brain, I get that. So don't let this make you feel bad if you're in that place. If you're in that place, just start with a small thinking of maybe I can feel just a little bit better today. But I have totally digressed already. Okay, so now that I have the PSA out of the way, I'm going to come back to choosing your feelings. And many of you may be familiar with Daniele LaPorte, and I've done some reading of hers, and I'm going to say that everything that I'm talking about is inspired a lot by her work, and I highly recommend the Desire Map or the Firestarter series of books. I will try to put links in the show notes to that, but this is kind of like, I've read her books. I've read some other people's work on the same thing of choosing the emotions, choosing how you want to feel and going with it. So please, I'm not a teacher. I'm not trained in her work. So this is just kind of my take on it. And I definitely want to give her credit because that's where I started looking at the emotions that I wanted to feel. But I also don't want to say that I am teaching you her methods because I am not trained in it. And I always take from people's methods what feels good to me and then twist it into a way that makes it work for me. And that's what I recommend you do too. But, and if it feels good to follow step by step somebody else's prescribed method, by all means, that works as well. So I've been going through some stuff where I had gotten myself tangled and twisted up over the summer and was in a bad place and was not focusing on the right things. And so as I've been coming back into focusing on what I want, I started pulling out more of that, the Desire Map work and looking at the emotions that I wanted to feel. And so what I did was made a list of the emotions that I wanted to feel. And for me, I'll share mine. Mine are mystical because my spiritual life is very important to me. Strong because I've always felt more compassion and like peaceful and that kind of person, which is fine. It's beautiful. But I felt like that there was a lack of balance in me where I was becoming weak and not being strong in my own essence. So being strong, being skilled, abundant, and connected. Connection is very important for me. Connection with my husband, connection with family, connection with other like-minded people brings me joy. So those are 5 feelings that really bring me joy, that make me feel good. And so that was my first task. And you can look online and you can find, if you're interested in doing this, lists of places where you can find all kinds of different emotions to help you kind of figure out which ones you want. And remember, this is not like a set in stone thing. Because when I did this work originally, I feel like it was about 3 years ago, my list was totally different. But I've kind of shifted in my life and realized that on my spiritual path, I need to go deeper. And I like strength and standing strong and being skilled at what I do. And some of these other things are actually more important to me now than what was important to me then. We are all going to shift and grow. So make a list that feels good for you now. It doesn't have to be perfect. Guess what? You can change it tomorrow if you go, because confident was something I put and I was like, it's not quite the right word. And strong, actually, for me, had that feeling because I want to be strong in mind, body, spirit, soul, all those areas of my being, focusing on strength. So look to yourself, find out what feelings you want to focus on and write down that list and put that list somewhere where you're going to see it a lot. You can make it your screensaver on your phone. You can make it your screensaver on your computer. You can stick it on your bathroom mirror. You can stick it on your closet, wherever you're going to see it several times a day. And then you get to focus on what in your life makes you feel that way. And so for me, there's 2 ways that I'm focusing on feeling that way. One is in the moment, and the second is planned out. So like in the moment, as I'm going through my day, I can stop and say, hey, how do I want to feel right now? If I want to feel connected, that's what's really coming up to me as important. What actions can I take right now to feel connected? Can I reach out and call a friend? Can I make a podcast for somebody and connect with my audience that way? Can I go give my husband a hug? What can I do to feel connected? So I try to do that as I'm going through my day, asking myself how I want to feel, which one of these feelings is the most, or like maybe I want to feel mystical, connected, and skilled. So maybe I'm going to lead a meditation for some people, and that gives me all 3 of those emotions. So that's kind of my way to come in the moment and choose what is going to give me the feeling that I desire to feel right now. What next action can I take? But I also feel like we need to look ahead a little bit and say, okay, what kind of goals in my life will give me those feelings as well? Because the day-to-day, moment-to-moment is great and important for refocusing and reframing. But if I want to feel mystical and I go take a job at a bank and it doesn't bring up those feelings in me, then maybe that's not my right choice. So maybe teaching about spirituality is going to bring me more of those feelings that I desire. So I can make a goal to spend more time doing that or, participating. But whatever those feelings are, you want to match up your goals and your feelings. Because if you have a goal that you think you should have, like if your goal is to make $1 million, but you want to feel connected, and in order to make $1 million, you feel like you have to work all the time, not spend time with the people you care about, then it's not going to mesh and jive. And technically, it doesn't matter. You can have a goal of making $1 million by helping 1 million people. And guess what? It becomes a vehicle for you to feel connected. But what you have to do is, I'm going to use the word connected again, is connect those dots and make sure that the goals that you're wanting to reach are going to bring you the feelings that you want to feel. Because ultimately, and I've found this, sometimes I have things that I'm like, I just want to do this. It's on my bucket list and I do it. And it's not fulfilling and it's not satisfying. And I did it. And I'm like, why doesn't this make me feel good? I wanted to do it. I did it. And, sometimes it's the goal itself wasn't really something that lit me up. It's just something that I thought should light me up. Or sometimes it's just that I didn't frame it right and I didn't put it in a way that helped me achieve the feelings that I wanted to achieve. So those are the 2 steps that I really look at. 1, how can I feel those feelings next in the moment? Asking myself that during the day. And I put that question on my phone, on my computer, how do I want to feel next? And what action can lead me to that feeling? And then just looking at those goals and what I want to do next in my life and making sure that what I want to do next is going to make me feel the way I want to feel. So that's what I've been doing to choose my feelings. That doesn't mean that anger and pain and resentment and fear don't come up in the moment, but they come up less when I'm already going about my business in a way proactively creating feelings that I want to feel. And B, it's okay when those feelings come up. Accept them, sit with them, feel them. I like to drop the story of what's happening and just feel them in the moment. And I like to feel the physical sensations, try to drop the story and let it be okay. And then, once you feel that little shift, then you can go, okay, what do I want to feel next? What do I want to feel going from this moment? And I have found that when you start doing this work, you're going to get challenges. It's kind of like the universe goes, how committed to you are you to feeling connected? Let's have your husband come home and be in a really bad, cranky mood. See how you handle that. I mean, that's life. Life to me is a fun game and it's a learning game. And we can't get too serious about it. And we got to say, good one, universe, good one. Okay, let me see. What am I going to do? How am I going to react? And I know sometimes in the moment we mess up, and that's okay. We just say, okay, I went down the wrong path. And sometimes you go down the wrong path for a minute and you go, oh, and you get awareness and you shift. Sometimes you go down it for an hour. Sometimes you go down it for a day. Hey, this summer I went down it for months, and some people go down it for years. And to me, we get to choose that. And it's okay. And yep, sometimes we need to hit rock bottom to change our thoughts. Sometimes we need someone to help pull us out of the abyss. So definitely being there for each other is important. But don't beat yourself up for the past. Don't beat yourself up for the times that you've gone on tangents and you've focused on feeling all the feelings that you don't want to feel. Because more than likely, nobody taught you, okay? Nobody taught me. And I'm guessing that nobody taught most of you that you can choose how you want to feel in the world. Like people told me, you can choose, and you always felt like there was that little thing, within reason, what you want to be when you grow up. You can choose your profession, you can choose your spouse, you can choose how many kids you want, but nobody ever told me I could choose how I wanted to feel. That was not something even with all the work that I've done, I would work on feeling gratitude and work on feeling different things. But Daniele LaPorte was really the first thing where I got, you can choose how you want to feel. And it came in different ways for me and from different spiritual practices. But that's the one that really, really hit the head of the nail, I guess it is, so to speak, really was that you have a choice. You can choose how you want to feel. And I know a lot of us don't want to believe it. And they're like, you don't understand. My life is this way and this way and this way. And I got bills that aren't paid. And my job sucks. And, my kid is sick. And I can't choose how I want to feel. But you can. And actually, it reminds me of a book that I pull off the shelf. And I talked about in this podcast before. Happiness is a choice. And happiness is a choice. But it's kind of fun when you throw in other emotions too, because for me, it's especially at different points in my life. I mean, ultimately, I think happiness and a positive emotion or what we're all aiming for. But somebody wants to feel strong. Somebody wants to feel safe. Somebody wants to feel smart. Somebody wants to feel hopeful. Somebody wants to feel grateful. Somebody wants to feel successful. Somebody wants to feel rich. It doesn't matter. You get to choose. It's a choose your own adventure, choose your feelings. And it does take some time, It's just like if you want to choose to have children or choose to get a new career, choose to go back to college. There are steps you have to take. It doesn't necessarily automatically happen, but choosing your feelings is actually a lot easier than some of the steps, some of the things. There's no application you have to fill out. There's no fee to pay. There's no, nobody else who says, I'm sorry, but you don't meet requirement X, Y, and Z to feel this way. You get to do it yourself. So my recommendation for you is to, even if you're feeling low, make a list. And if I can, I'll try to find some links in the show notes to give you some ideas. And you may want to look at Daniele LaPorte's books. Those are great. And I do think there are some Facebook groups. I think at one point in time where people who do the desire mapping. Choose how you want to feel. Come up with those 3 to 5 feelings and know that you're not locked into those for the rest of your life. You're not even locked into them for an hour. As long as that's what works for you, great. If not, change it. But come up with those feelings and then start finding ways to feel them. Sounds really simple. Start finding ways to feel them in the next moment, during the day that you're in, and in the future when you're setting your goals. Choose goals or set and reframe your goals in a way that is going to help you feel those feelings. So that's my spiel for today. Go out, have a magical day, and even if you don't do anything else, just pick one feeling that you would like to feel today. Okay, do it right now, actually. Yeah, do it now. So pick that feeling. Have you got it? If you don't, pause this, get the feeling. Even just happiness is fine. And then ask yourself this question: what could I do in the next hour to feel that feeling that I have chosen to feel, that I desire to feel? And whatever answer pops in your head, go do it. Unless it's illegal, immoral, or unethical. And then ask, what else could I do to feel this feeling? Okay, go out there. Do this assignment today. Big hugs. Namaste, y'all. And I will see you next time. Would you like some help creating more magic in your life? I've got a ton of freebies and goodies for you. They're all tucked away inside my magical freebie vault. You can get free access, though. You just have to go to www.dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault. Again, that's dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault. And when you get there, you can just plug in your name and email and you will get instant access to all kinds of goodies. There are daily and weekly manifesting planners, the How to Shift Your Vibe in 5 Minutes e-kit that has audios and a workbook. There are moon manifesting planners and daily love lists and money trackers and all kinds of goodies right there. I didn't want to make you have to go to a bunch of different pages and sites and wait for certain freebies to come out. So I just took all of my freebies and put them in one place where you could just sign up one time and download any of them that you want at any time that you needed. So you can just head on over to dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault and download them today. Have a magical day.
Thanks for listening to the Adventures in Alchemy podcast. Connect with me on thedailyalchemy.com or Facebook at facebook.com/Michelle Dobbins author. Join us next time for even more magical life tips.